Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Lim KH and today we'll be going through a P6 Math Prelim paper from 2020 RGS. Let's start off with the paper 1, okay, where we cannot use a calculator. The first section from question 1 to 15 is the MCQ section. Okay, question 1. The value of the digit 5 in 954,687 is... Okay, so let's take a look at the digit 5, which is this one over here. Okay, so what is the value? Okay, so the value of this is 50000. Okay, so which means that the answer will be number 3. Okay, question 2. Which one of the following is closest to 1? Okay, so if you see this kind of question that asks you to find, okay, the following that is closest to 1, what you do is you use the bigger one. Okay, use the bigger number of fraction. Usually it's in fraction. Okay, subtract 1. Okay, or you can, sometimes they'll give you a fraction that is smaller than 1, then you will use 1 to subtract the, okay, smaller. Okay, so in this case, because it's all 1 something, if I subtract 1 to all of them, okay, this is going to give me a 1 over 7, 1 over 6, okay, 1 over 9, and 1 over 8. Okay, since they're asking for the one that's closest to 1, then you have to choose the fraction that is the smallest. Okay, so the answer will be number 3. 1 over 9 is the smallest, so it is closest to 1. Okay, question 3. Round off 28,784 to the nearest 10th. Okay, I think something is missing. I think this is there's a decimal here, because all the answers are like 28 point something, 29 point something, and 30 point something. Okay, so this one should be 28.784. Okay, to the nearest 10th. The nearest 10th is this position. Okay, so we're gonna look behind. Behind is 8, which tells us that we need to round up. Okay, we need to round up because of the 8. So it's gonna become a 28.8. Okay, the answer will be number 2. Okay, question 4. What is the length of the screwdriver? Okay, so because this measurement is not starting from 0, so we need to find out what is the measurement over here at the beginning. And we need to find out what's the measurement in the end, and then we're gonna subtract it. Okay, so the first thing we need to look at is from 0 to 1 there are 5 gaps, right? Okay, and then each gap will be a 0.2. Okay, so it will be a 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and 1.0. So let's take the reading of the starting point, which is 1.246. Okay, this is 1.6. Let's take the reading at the end. This is 9.2. Okay, so you have to use 9.2 minus 1.6. This will give you a 7.6. Okay, the answer will be number 2. Okay, question 5. In the figure, ABCD is an equilateral triangle. So ABC, I think it's over here, which means that C should be this point here. Okay, CDE is an isosceles, so CDE is an isosceles triangle. BCE is a straight line, so this is a straight line. We have an angle CDE, which is 69. Find the sum of angle BCD and ACE. So we need to find the sum of these two. Okay, so since triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle, so over here this is 60. And triangle CDE is an isosceles, so this is 69 because they are the same. So what we have to do is we just have to use 360 because this whole center part here is 360. Okay, subtract away 60, subtract away 69. Okay, that will give us the total of these two angles. Okay, so it's gonna become 300 minus 69. Okay, 300 minus 69 will be 231. Okay, the answer will be number 3. Okay, question 6. Gordon was at the park. Okay, he's at the park over here. Okay, he turned an angle of 315 degree anti-clockwise. Okay, to face the direction of his home. What was he facing before the turn? Okay, so we need to kind of like work backwards, right? So after he turned, and then he'll be facing home. Okay, so if it is 315 degree anti-clockwise, you know, is in this direction. So we're gonna go clockwise. Okay, 315, it will be, I'm gonna go 90, 90, and a 90 first. Okay, this 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90 will be 270. Okay, so 270 plus another 45 with 315. Okay, you can try it out yourself. Okay, it's gonna be 315. Okay, so now we need to go backwards, which means that just to confirm, okay, he should be facing the playground at first. Okay, so playground anti-clockwise, that will be the answer. Okay, so he's facing the playground at first. Okay, question 7. The figure is made out of 2 squares. So this 1 square, 2 square. Okay, the area of the 2 squares are 64 square cm and 25 square cm. So this is 64 square cm and this is 25, okay, square cm. What's the perimeter of the figure? Okay, so we know that this is a square. So to find the length of the side, I know that this is a 5, this is a 5, right? Because 5 times 5 is equals to 25. Okay, so this is a 5 and 64 will be 8 times 8. 8, 8, 8. Okay, so 8 times 8 equals to 64. Okay, so a lot of students, they will get stuck because they are not very sure how to find the length of this part and this part. Okay, but there is a few ways to deal with it. One of it is you need to realize that the green line which I'm gonna draw. Okay, so this green line will, okay, this green line, okay, total is 8 cm, right? Okay, so what you can do is you can use there's gonna be 4 of them, 8 times 4, because it is gonna use the highlighted 1, 2, 3, and this okay, the 8 cm here is the 4th. Okay, and then after that you'll be short with you'll be short of this 5 over here and this 5 over here. Let me use the blue color. Okay, this 5 over here and 5 over here. So you just need to add, okay, plus 5 plus 5. Okay, which will be 8 times 4, 32, plus 10, which is 42 centimeter. Okay, let me just double check to see if did I miss out anything. Okay, number 1 will be the answer. Okay, question 8. Abel had 3 times as many books as Thomas. Abel donated a quarter of his books to charity. So what was the ratio of the number of books Thomas had to the number of books Abel had in the end? Okay, so now I'm gonna draw a simple model, Abel and Thomas. Okay, so draw a simple block. I'm gonna cut into 3. Okay, and then Thomas will be somewhere here. Abel and Thomas. Okay, Abel donated a quarter of his books to charity. So if I'm gonna cut this into a quarter, it's gonna be a bit messy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change it. Okay, I'm supposed to cut it into 4. So instead of cutting it into 4, I'm gonna write a 4 unit, 4 unit, 4 unit inside. Okay, 4 unit. So if you want to convert it, Abel will be equal to 12 unit and Thomas will be equal to 4 unit. Okay, after donating a quarter of his books to charity, that means a quarter of 12 units. Okay, cancel 1, divided by 4 is 3. So 3 units, that means this is equal to 3 units. Okay, he donated 3 units away, and then what was the ratio of the books Thomas had to Abel had in the end, right? So in the end, Abel will be 9 units, Thomas will still be 4 units. Okay, so they want Thomas to Abel, so T is to A will be 4 is to 9. Okay, so the answer will be number 2. Okay, question 9. Calvin bought a camera. The GST amount was $70. Okay, how much did he pay for the camera inclusive of GST? So inclusive of GST. Okay, so if the GST amount is 7%, and so this 7% will be equal to the $70. And find out what is 1%. 1% will be $10. And if you want to find how much he paid inclusive of the GST, that will be 107%. Okay, which will be 10 times 107, and that will give you $1,070. Okay, the answer will be number 4. Question 10, 3 plus 6a is equals to 27. What is the value of a? Okay, so this question, if you're not very familiar, you can always draw a simple model. Okay, because this kind of question to us is very straightforward, but to P6 kids, it might not be that straightforward. So what you can do is you can cut this into 6 parts. Okay. And then each one will be a A. A. Okay, so there's 6 of them. Represent the 6A. Okay, so you need to plus another 3. To draw another block. Try to make sure it is a different size as the A so that you will not get confused. Okay, so the total is 27. So here to here is 27. Okay, so now you should be clear what you need to do. First step will be 27 minus 3. Okay, equals to 24. And then after that, 24 divided by 6. That will give you a 4. Okay, so the answer will be number 4. Okay, next question 11. Eileen bought 2 tables and 20 chairs for her office. She spent $120 more on the tables than the chairs. She spent a total of $840. So how much did she spend on one chair? Okay, so what's important is this $120 more, and she spent a total of $840. Okay, so if I were to draw a simple model for the table and for the chair will be lesser, right? I'm just gonna draw something like that. Okay. Okay, so this will be the table, this will be the chair, and then this will be the $120, and then all together she spent $840, right? Okay, so the question wants to find how much did she spend on the chair, which means that how much did she spend on one chair? So let's find out how much did she spend on the chairs first. Okay, so we need to remove this extra and then after that divide by 2. So it's gonna be 840 minus away 120. That's gonna give you 720. 720 divided by 2, because after you've removed the extra, you have 2 equal blocks. Okay, that will give you 360, which means that the chairs is 360, and this part here is also 360. Okay, so from the question we know that she bought 20 chairs, right? So this will be 20. So to find the cost of one chair, we need to use 360 divided by 20. Okay, so you can do your working, or for me, I prefer to work it out using the fraction way because I can straight away cancel the 0, and then 36 divided by 2, you can do your working or you can do mentally. It's gonna give you 18. Okay, so the cost of one chair will be $18. The answer is number 1. Okay, question 12. Half of Jenny's mass is the same as 1/5 of Randy's mass. Their total mass is 49.14 kg. Find Jenny's mass. Okay, so if you're very familiar with this question, once you see this like a fraction of something is the same as a fraction of another thing, the first thing we need to do is we need to change the numerator to become the same. Okay, since the numerator is already the same, that means immediately we can say that Janice is equals to 2 units and Randy is actually equal to 5 units. Okay, by looking at the denominator. So in this case, straight away we know that since their total mass is 49.14 kg, so 7 unit is equals to 49.14. Jenny's mass is 2 unit, right? So I'm gonna find out what is 1 unit first. You can do your division over here. Okay, so 77 minus 49, 0, 1. Remember to add in the 0. Okay, 14, 2. So decimal will be here. Answer will be 7.02. Okay, so now I'm going to proceed on to find what is 2 units. 2 units you can multiply by 2. It will be 14.04. Okay, so the answer will be number 2. Okay, you can also solve this by drawing model, because half of Jenny's mass. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to draw one block of Jenny's. Randy is another block which is the same size. Okay, and then just fill it up, because this will be half, right? This should be the same as this. Okay, so for Randy, we need to fill up another 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then their total mass will be 49.14. Okay, so from here you can also see that there are 7 blocks which is equal to 49.14. Okay, which is same as the shortcut method. So once you're familiar with the model method, then you got to upgrade your method and make it faster and do the shortcut way. Okay, question 13. A dining table was sold at a discount. The discounted price was 20% less than the usual price. Okay, the usual price was $720. How much was the discount? Okay, so same thing for the benefit of students who are not so clear about what's happening. So this is going to be the discount. That's a 20% discount. Okay, and then the usual price is 720 here to here. Okay, this is the usual. So how much was the discount? So we need to find this discount. Okay, so very straightforward. I'm gonna find what's 20% off $720. So do your reducing, cancel the 0, and then you just have to do a 72 times 2, okay, which will give you a 144. Okay, so the discount will be number 3, $144. Okay, question 14. Ali and Zainal each bought the same mass of minced meat. Okay, they prepared each patty with the same mass of minced meat. Ali made 20 patties and had 5.6 kg of minced meat left. Zainal made 60 patties and had 400 grams of minced meat left. Okay, what was the mass of minced meat used for each patty? Okay, so this question sounds confusing. Let us try to draw the model first. Okay, so I'm gonna draw equal block first for Ali and Zainal. Okay, the reason why I draw equal block is because the question said that they each bought the same mass minced meat. Okay, so this will be Ali, this will be Zainal. Okay, they prepared each patty with the same mass. So Ali made 20, so I'm just gonna cut off and I'm gonna write a 20 over here. And had 5.6 kg of minced meat left. Okay, Zainal made 60, so maybe 60 is here. And had 400 grams of minced meat left. Okay, so once you see this model, you should be clear that this part over here to here is the difference, right? Which means that 60 minus 20, okay, will be equal to 5.6 kg. So let's convert it into grams first. Okay, multiply by 1000, which will be 5600 gram. Okay, 5600 minus 400. Okay, so 40 of them will be equal to 5200. What's the mass of minced meat used for each patty? So I just have to, okay, let me write a P to represent the patties. Okay, so one of it will be 5200 divided by 40, cancel. So if you do the division, it will be 130 gram. Okay, so the answer will be number 3. Okay, question 15. Tab A fill a pail in 6 minutes. Tab B can fill the same pail in 3 minutes. How long will it take to fill the pail completely with both taps when both taps are turned on at the same time? Okay, so this one is the very classical question where 2 taps work together to fill up one pail. So tap A, okay, 6 minutes will fill up one pail. Okay, tap B, 3 minutes will fill up the same one pail. Okay, so the first thing you need to find is in 1 minute. Okay, what fraction of the pail was filled up by tap A? So in 1 minute, tap A can fill up 1/6 of the pail, right? And tap B can fill up 1/3 of the pail. That means now together, okay, in 1 minute, that means tap A plus B, okay, they can fill up 1/6 plus 1/3. Okay, 1/6 plus 1/3 will actually be equal to 3/6. Just do your changing to common denominator, working somewhere else if you need to do it. Okay, so if in 1 minute they can fill up half of it, right? This is equal to half, right? Okay, that means they need 2 minutes to fill up okay, the whole pail. So the answer will be number 2. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Question 16 to 20 will be the short written section where they are 1 mark each. Okay, find the value of the following: 50 minus 24 divided by 2 times 3 plus 4. Okay, so this one is your order of operation. The first thing that you need to work on will be the bracket. Okay, and then since it is all dividing and multiplication, okay, then you need to work from left to right. Okay, 24 divided by 2 is 12. Okay, times 3. 12 times 3. Let me write it down first and keep the bracket. Okay, oh, sorry, it's 50. Okay, 12 times 3 will give me 36. Okay, so 50 minus 36 plus 4. Same thing, once you have all addition and subtraction, you got to work from left to right. Okay, 50 minus 36 will give me a 14 plus 4 will give me 18. Okay, so the answer for question 16 is 18. Okay, question 17. When the flight departed from Singapore, the time in Perth was 8:50 p.m. Okay, the flight arrived in Perth 5 hours and 15 minutes later. So 5 hours and 15 minutes later. Let me use the highlighter. Okay, at what time in Perth did the flight arrive? Give your answers in the 24-hour clock. Okay, so the time in Perth is 8:50 p.m. Okay, we're gonna do a simple timeline. Actually, if you know how to use your fingers to count, that will be also pretty quick and you don't need to depend too much on the timeline. So first, I'm gonna add 5 hours into it. Okay, 8:50 p.m. It will be 9, 10, 11, 12, and 1. Okay, so it will be 1:50 a.m. 5 hours later. Okay, so next you need to add in the 15 minutes. Okay, which will become 2:05 a.m. Okay, so in the 24-hour clock, it will be 02:05. Okay, question 18. Express a 78/9 as a mixed number in the simplest form. Okay, so to change it to mixed number in the simplest form, you need to use 78 divided by 9. Okay, but then because this is such a small number, you actually don't really need to do long division. Just think of 9 times what will give you the number closest to 78. So it will be 9 times 8, which will give you a 72, right? Okay, so 78 minus 72, it will be a 6. Okay, so it will be a 8 whole and 6/9, which will change into the simplest form. Okay, divide by 3, divide by 3. That will give you a 2/3. Okay, just double check over here. 8 times 9 equals to 72. 72 plus 6 will give you the 78. Okay, nice, check. Okay, so the answer will be 8 and 2/3. Okay, question 19. Find the sum of 11 tens, 1 tenth, and 10 hundredths. Okay, so this type of question, the safest way is to write down the numerical value of each and every one of them below, then you add them together. Okay, 11 tens will be 110. Okay, then 1 tenth will be 0.1. Okay, 10 hundredths will be 0.1 or so. So if you're confused, just do this is equals to 1/10, okay, which is also equal to 0.1. So now you just have to add them together, okay, which will give you 110.2. Okay, if you're not so sure how to do it, you can always do the working. 110.0 plus 0.1, 0.1. I should have written the plus here, but okay, get the idea. So the answer will be 110.2. Okay, question 20. Find average of 180 cm and 1.2 meter. Leave your answers in meters. Okay, so I'm gonna convert 180 centimeter into meter. It's gonna be 1.8 meter. Okay, so I'm gonna use 1.8 plus 1.2, which will give me 3 meter. And to find the average, okay, I'm gonna use 3 meter, okay, divided by 2, which will give me a 1.5 meter. Okay, so you can also, of course, convert the 1.2 meter into centimeter if you're not comfortable with dealing with decimal. 120 centimeter, then use 180 plus 120, okay, which will give you 300 centimeter. And then to find the average, okay, you use 300 divided by 2, will give you 150 centimeter. And then after that, 150 centimeter, just convert it into meter, which is divide by 100, and you get a 1.5 meter. Okay, so to convert, over here I forgot to add, you have to divide it by 100 if you want to convert from centimeter to meter. So the answer will be 1.5 meter for this question 20. Okay, let's move on to question 21 to question 30. This each question is 2 marks each. Okay, Eli mixed milk and rose syrup to make a drink. He used 7/8 liters of milk, and the amount of rose syrup used was 1/6 liter less than the milk used. And how much milk and rose syrup did Eli use altogether? Leave your answers as a mixed number in the simplest form. Okay, so when you see this, remember this is not a fraction, this is a certain amount of milk because there is a unit beside it. Okay? 1/6, 7/8 liters and 1/6 liters. So we're gonna first try to draw a simple model. Okay, so this one is for the milk, and rose syrup will be 1/6 liters less. Rose syrup, put it around here. So this will be the milk, and this will be the rose syrup. Okay, here to here will be the 7/8 liters, and here to here will be the 1/6 liters. How much milk and rose syrup did Eli use altogether? So we need to find the total. Okay, so to find the total, there are 2 ways. Okay, students I think are more familiar with using 7/8 minus 1/6. Find the rose syrup, and then after that use the rose syrup to add the milk. Okay, so I'm gonna try and do it in another way. What you can do is you can use 7/8 times 2. Okay, times 2, that means I am making 2 equal bars. Okay, this will give me, if you're reducing, cancel 4, cancel 1, okay, 7/4. Okay, remember this 7/4 is basically, in model sense, it'll be like 2 equal blocks, like this. Okay, this is like 7/4. And then the next step, I'm gonna minus away this part here. Okay, I'm gonna remove. Okay, so that means the next step you can do is you can do a 7/4 minus a 1/6. Okay, so change it to common denominator. I am going to change them to a 12 times 3 times 3 times 2 times 2. Okay, it's going to be 21/12 minus a 2/12, and that will give me 19/12. Okay, and then change it into mix, which will be 1 and 7/12 liters. Okay, so not familiar with this way, like I said, you can always use the other way, which is using 7 over 8 minus the 1 over 6. Okay, then divide by 2 to get this. Okay, question 22. Alex has a box measuring 40 cm by 50 cm by 60 cm. He wants to pack identical Rubik's Cube of each 6 cm into the box. So what is the maximum number of Rubik's Cube that he can pack into the box? Okay, so this question, you have to do this method, which is, okay, you have to divide each side with 6 and get the closest whole number. Okay, so 40 divided by 6, 50 divided by 6, okay, and 60 divided by 6. Okay, what is the closest whole number? So 40 divided by 6 will be 6 and point something, right? So the closest whole number will be 6. Okay, or should I do 6 whole and remainder or not? Or should I put it in fraction? Maybe I'll put it in fraction. Okay, so it'll be 6 and 4 out of 6. Okay, so I'm just gonna take the whole number, which is 6. 50 divided by 6 will be 8 and 2 out of 6. Closest whole number is 6. Okay, 60 divided by 6 is 10. Okay, which will be 10. And then after that, I just multiply the whole number together. So 6 times 8 times 10 will be 480. Okay, so this one is the answer. Okay, so remember, don't use the wrong method. Okay, wrong method is students will do 40 times 50 times 60. Okay, after you found the volume, okay, then you use 6 times 6 times 6. Okay, which is 36 times 6, 216. Okay, and then after that you use the volume of the box, okay, divided by 216. Okay, this is the wrong method because not all the sides can fill up the Rubik's Cube nicely. Okay. Okay, question 23. Mrs. Delvey had 24 N cookies. She distributed all of them equally to 8 of her grandchildren. Then one of her grandchildren, Heidi, ate 4 cookies. How many cookies had Heidi left? Leave your answers in terms of N. Okay, so 8 of the grandchildren. So each grandchildren received 24N divided by 8. Okay, that'll be 3N. Okay, so Heidi ate 4, so it'll be 3N minus 4. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, question 24. There were equal number of male and female members at the gym. After 265 male members and 545 female members cancelled their gym membership, the number of remaining male members was 9 times that of the remaining female members. Okay, so how many female members remain at the gym? Okay, so this question you can also draw a model. The first sentence really said that they were equal, right? So over here, equal number of male and female. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw 2 blocks which are equal. Okay, to represent the male and the female. Male and the female. Okay, after 265 male members and 500, I can write a bit bigger. 545 female members cancelled their gym membership. Okay, the number of remaining male was 9 times. So this will be like 9 unit and 1 unit. Okay, so you don't need to cut it into 9. because it will not be the same size. Okay, but 9 unit and 1 unit should be enough to tell you that, okay, the difference from here to here is, okay, 8 unit. 8 units the 545 minus the 265. Okay, so 545 minus 265, which will be equal to 280. So the question wants you to find how many female members remain at the gym. So which means that you need to find what is 1 unit, right? Okay, 280 divided by 8, 24, 40, and that will be 5. Okay, so 1 unit is 35, and that will be the answer. Okay, question 25. In the figure, ABCD is a rectangle. So ABCD over here is a rectangle. AEFG is a rhombus. So AEFG here is a rhombus. AHF is a straight line. And angle BAE. BAE, okay, is 22. Find angle CHF, which is this. Okay, so the first angle that I'm gonna find is this over here. Okay, angle EAD is 90 minus 22. Okay, because this is a rectangle, so over here is 90. Okay, so 90 minus 22 will give me 68 degree. Okay, then next I'm gonna do 68 divided by 2, which will give me 34 degree because this is a rhombus. So this is 34. And this is also 34. Okay, then the last step to find H is angle CHF. Not. Okay, angle CHF will be 34 plus 22. Okay, which is 56. The reason why, okay, is because these two lines are parallel to each other. So if you're familiar with your corresponding angle, this angle here will be equal to this angle here. Okay, so basically angle BAH, okay, is equals to angle CHF. Okay, if not, you can also find this angle over here and use 180 to minus this 180 to minus this angle to find the answer. Okay, so the answer will be 56. Okay, question 26. Anna needed 20 pieces of wires, each of length 0.3 meter. The wires were sold in rows of 2 meters each. What was the least number of rows of wire that Anna needed to buy? Okay, so this question is a very classical, tricky question where you need to find out like each row how many wires you can cut. Okay, so each row is 2 meters, right? 2 meters. If you divide it by 0.3 meter, let's convert it to 200 centimeter divided by 30 centimeter. This way will be a bit easier. Okay, so that will give you 6 and 2/3, right? Yeah. Okay, 6 and 2/3, which means that one row, okay, is equal to you can only cut 6 wires. Okay, so if you need 20, that means you need another 6. Okay, so so this is one row. That means you need to plus another row. Okay, because you're short of 2, which will eat into the next row. Okay, so this one will be what should I write it as? The left over 2. Okay, because here to here is 18. So altogether you need 4 rows. Okay, so this one, the common mistake that students make will be 0.3 times 20, right? So that will give you 6 meters, and then after that they use 6 meters divided by 2 to give you 3 rows. Okay, so this is the wrong method. Okay, moving on to question 27. The figure is made out of 3 squares. Okay, AB is a straight line. What is the perimeter of the figure? So this question over here is a very classical question, which if you've been doing the past year papers, you would have come across this question. So here to here is 8, right? Okay, so the other... Okay, now in order to find the perimeter of the figure, I need to use another color. Okay, so this plus this plus this. Okay, you need to realize it's another 8. Okay, so I'm gonna try and write it in different colors. 8, okay, plus the green one will be another 8. Okay, let's put a yellow. The yellow is a bit hard to see, but you can make it out. Okay, plus another 8. And the last color I'm gonna use highlighter blue. Okay, let me narrow it down. So too small. I think it's too small. This plus this. Okay, plus this. Okay, is gonna be another 8. Okay, so you can see that I've already covered the perimeter of the figure. So 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 will be 8 times 4, which is 32 centimeter. Okay, question 28. The table shows the rate of renting a karaoke room at a community club. So the first 2 hours will be $9 per hour. Every additional 30 minutes will be $8 per 30 minutes. A group of friends paid a total of $42 for the rental of a karaoke room. How many hours did they rent the karaoke room for? Okay, so for the first 2 hours, okay, it's gonna be equal to $9 per hour, right? So times 2, which is $18. Okay, so the next step is you got to use $42 minus away the 18, which will give you a $24. Okay, so $24 if you divide it by 8, right? It will be, because it's $8 per 30 minutes. That'll be 3 30 minutes. Okay, so how many hours? So these 3 30 minutes will be equal to, you do your calculation of 30 minutes times 3, it'll be 1.5 hours. Okay, and then the last step will be to use the 2 hours, okay, plus the 1.5 hours, and that will give you 3.5 hours. Question 29. Sarah had 5/6 square meter of fabric. She cut out a quarter of it and used the remaining fabric to make 5 identical masks. So how much fabric did she use to make 1 mask? So this one is the remainder type of question, right? Okay, so don't panic when you see a fraction. Just do your normal model drawing. Okay, cut into 4. So this whole fabric is 5/6 square meter. Okay, so she cut out a quarter of it. and use the remaining fabric. So the remaining fabric, like I always prefer to draw a separate block below here to represent the remaining fabric. A bit ugly, so let me use the shape. Okay, so to make 5 identical masks, so I'm gonna cut it into 5 parts. Okay, to represent the 5 masks. How much fabric did she use to make one mask? Okay, so the first thing I need to find is here to here is how much fabric, right? So the first step that I need to use is to use 3/4 times 5/6. Okay, because here to here is 3 out of here. Okay, here out of here is where am I gonna write? 3 out of 4. Okay, do your reducing. Divided by 3, divided by 3, and it will give you 5/8. Okay, so here to here is 5 out of 8 square meter. So now if I want to find one mask, I need to divide it by 5. Okay, so divide by 5 will be 5/8 times 1/5. Cancel 1 is equal to 1/8, and that's the answer. Okay, question 30. The graph shows the number of houses sold from January to March. So January, February, and March. The bar for the number of houses sold in March has not been drawn. Okay, the total number of houses sold in February and March was 2/3 of the total number of houses sold. Okay, so February and March was 2/3. Okay, which means that Jan will be 1/3, right? So this is 2/3. Complete the graph by shading to show the number of houses sold in March. Okay, so we're gonna treat this as one unit. Okay, so we can see that 1/3 is equals to 3 units, which represents the 3 blocks. Okay, you can cut into 3 blocks. So which means that 2/3 will be equal to 6 units, right? Okay, and then you can see that in February, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means in March, it's got to be 1 block, right? 1 unit, because total in February and March is 6 units. Okay, so this will be the answer for question 30. Okay, let's move on to paper 2, question 1. There were 538 females and 306 males at the carnival. 110 females left and 25 males entered the carnival. What was the percentage decrease? Okay, so we need to find the percentage decrease. Okay, in the total number of people in the carnival. Okay, round off your answer to the nearest 1 decimal place. Okay, so let's write it down at first. Okay, female is equal to 538, and then male is equal to 306. Okay, and then after that 110 females left and 25 entered, right? So now, okay, there is gonna be The female is gonna be 438. Oh, sorry, 428. Okay, and then the male will be 331. Your 6 plus 25. Okay. So they are asking for what was the percentage decrease, right? Okay, let's write down the total first. Okay, total will be 538 plus 306, 844. And for the now, the total will be 428 plus 331. Okay, 759. So in this case, what is the decrease? Okay, decrease will be equal to 844 minus the 759, which is 85, right? Okay, so now if we want to find the percentage decrease, we need to use the decrease divided by the original. Okay, and then multiply by 100. So over 844 times 100 will give me 10.07109, and if you round it off to one decimal place, it'll be 10.1. Okay, so the answer will be 10.1%. Okay, question 2. The table shows the points scored by 3 children in the game. So Ali, Bala, and Charlie. Ali is 21, but then Bala and Charlie is not shown. Okay, their total score was 135. All their scores were 2-digit numbers. What was the lowest possible score among the 3 children? Okay, so the first thing I want to find is Bala plus Charlie. What's their score? Okay, so 135 minus 21, that will be equal to 114. Okay, so if all their scores are 2-digit number, okay, Bala and Charlie, right? Okay, add together must be equal to 114. Lowest possible score among the 3 of them. So can Charlie be a 10? Cannot, right? Because if Charlie is a 10 or Bala is a 10, then the other will be 104, right? Okay, so it's got to be a 2-digit number, which means that one of them must be a 15. Okay, so that the other will be a 99. Okay, if you work it out, 99 plus 15, okay, it is 114, which means that the one with the lowest score is 15, but I do not know is it Bala or Charlie. Okay, so what was the lowest possible score among the 3 children? Is 15. Okay, question 3. The square grid A, B, and BC form 2 sides of a trapezium ABCD. Okay, there are 2 right angles in ABCD. Complete the drawing of trapezium. Okay, ABCD. So if there are 2 right angles, that means the right angle cannot be here, it must be here. So how we draw a 90 degrees, just look over here, the square over here, the line cuts through the diagonal of 2 squares, right? So look at these 2 squares and make sure your line cuts through the diagonal of these 2 squares. Okay, so I'm gonna just extend it over here first. I'm not sure if I need to extend it to here. I think there is no need to. Okay, because the next line that I need to draw to make it 90 degrees, same thing. These 2 squares, make sure it cuts through the diagonal. Okay. So I'm gonna use my free hand to draw, cut through here, and continue to cut through here. Okay, just nice, it will cut through here to reach here. Okay, so if you print it out on the paper, you'll probably be able to use a ruler and draw it nicely. Okay, so this one is the trapezium A, B, C, and D will be here. Question 4. Amos is 12 years younger than his sister. The ratio of Amos' age to his sister's age is 1 to 5. Okay, in how many years' time will the ratio of Amos' age to his sister's age be 2:3? Okay, so in any age-related question, remember the age difference between two persons will never change. So this is actually a constant difference type of question, okay? Or some teachers might call it difference unchanged. Doesn't matter. Okay, it's all the same. So now let us maybe draw a simple model of Amos' age to his sister. So the sister will be draw a 5. Amos will be this. Okay, Amos is 12 years younger than the sister. So that means here to here is 12 years. Okay, from here we can work out how old is Amos, because 12 divided by 4, we know that this is a 3. Okay, 3. Okay, in how many years' time will the ratio of Amos' age to his sister's age be 2:1? So if Amos' age to the sister's age is 2:5, sorry. Okay, the difference is 3 unit. Okay, so 3 unit is equals to 12 years. And the 1 unit is gonna be equal to 4. Okay, so it will be in how many years' time will the ratio of it's gonna be 1 year later. Okay, we can check. So now Amos is A is equals to 3, the sister is equals to 15. Okay, 1 year later. Okay, Amos is gonna be 4. Sister is gonna be 16. Two is 5. Amos age is 3 unit. It is a 1:4. Oh, okay. So it is, sorry, 2 unit. 8 years. Okay, made a mistake over here. Luckily, I did a check. Okay, so it is going to be 5 years later. Okay, because I still need to do the step of 8 minus 3, which is equals to 5. Okay, let me double check now. 5 years later, Amos will be 8, right? 5 years later will be 20. So a change to simplest form, divided by 4 will be 2, divided by 4 will be 5. Okay, so now I got it correct. 5 years later. Okay, question 5. The table shows the number and the cost of each type of flower sold at the florist. So there is a rose, lily, and carnation. Okay, number of flowers sold for rose is 135 at $2 each. Lily is 2Y, 250 each, and carnation is 4Y at 4 for $5. Okay, for each of the following statement below is either true, false, or not possible to tell from the information given. For each statement, we need to put a tick to indicate our answer. Okay, A is asking if the total number of flowers sold was 405. 180 carnations were sold. Okay, so so for part A, I'm gonna do it here. So first, I'm gonna do 405 minus 135. Okay, 45 minus 135 is gonna be 270. So lily plus carnation is equals to 6y, right? So which means that the 6y equals to 270. Okay, and then y is equals to 45. Carnations will be 4y, right? 4y is equals to 45 times 4, which is 180. Okay, so which means that A is true. Okay, so for B, the amount of money collected from selling the lilies and the carnation were the same. Amount of money collected from selling the lilies and the carnation. Okay, so let me change to another color. Okay, lily is $2.50 each and carnation is 4 for $5. So that means for lily, okay, it'll be 4 for $10. Okay, this is 4 for $5. Okay, so from the number of flowers sold, okay, we can see that carnation is double, right? Okay, double the lilies, which means that it will be something like instead of 4 for $5, if I double it, it will be 8 for $10. Okay, so since they are the same, okay, no matter how I multiply them to keep the same ratio of the double, okay, the amount of money collected will still be the same. So for B, it is also true. Okay, C, the amount of money collected from selling the roses was the highest among the 3 types of flowers. The amount of money collected from selling the roses was the highest among the 3 types. We can't really tell because for all we know, like, how do we know how much is Y, right? This can be 200, 400, you know, or it can be much bigger number. It can be 2,000 and 4,000. Okay, and it can even go bigger lah. So we do not know what is the number of roses sold for, the number of flowers sold for lily and carnation. So in this case, it is not possible to tell for C. Okay, question 6. The bar chart shows the height of 6 people. The graph, the bar that shows Peggy's height was not drawn. Okay, Peggy's height was 20 cm more than the average height of Quincy and Megan. What was the height of Peggy? And who was or were taller than the average height of all the people? Okay, so Peggy's height is 20 centimeter more than the average height of Quincy and Megan. So I'm gonna find Megan first. Megan will be 160, so I'm gonna write over here. Quincy will be 140. Okay, so for part A, average of Megan and Quincy will be 160 plus 140. Okay, divided by 2, which is 150 centimeter. That means Peggy will be equal to 20 centimeter more, which is 150 plus 20. Okay, 170 centimeter. So probably then need to draw. Maybe not, but it is here lah. Okay, until here if you want to draw. Peggy is 170 centimeter. Who was or were taller than the average height of all the people? Okay, so now I need to find average height of all the people. Each one is there's 4 gaps, right? So each one is a 5. Okay, so for Natalie, it'll be 1, 4, 5. Oliver will be 1, 5, 0. Renee will be 1, 6, 5. Okay, so for part B, I'm gonna add all together first. Okay, plus 1, 5, 0, plus 1, 7, 0, plus 1, 4, 0, plus 1, 6, 5. This is gonna be equal to 6, 0, plus 1, 4, 5, plus 1, 5, 0, plus 170, plus 1, 4, 0, plus 1, 6, 5. Okay, 930, and then after that 930 divided by 6. 155. Okay, so who is more than 155? So Megan, Peggy, and Renee. Okay, so Megan, Peggy, and Renee. Peggy and Renee. Okay, question 7. Rectangular tank measuring 45 cm by 16 by 25 cm. It was 1/3 filled with water. After water from some identical bottles was poured into the rectangular tank, it became 7/8 full. The capacity of each bottle is 650 ml. What was the minimum number of bottles used to pour the water into the rectangular tank? Okay, so the first thing that we need to find is the total volume of water that came from the bottles, right? Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna find is I'm gonna use 7/8 minus 1/3. Okay, to find the fraction of the volume or the height increased after the water was poured in. Okay, 7/8 minus 1/3 is gonna give me 13 out of 24. Okay, so you're confused, then can refer to the diagram here. This is 1/3, and then after that it will become 7/8 full, right? Which means that the fraction that I found is here to here, which is 13 out of 24. Okay, so here to here is the 7 out of 8. Okay, then the next step that you can do, you can find the volume of the tank and then times 13/24. Okay, so 13/24 times the volume of the tank, which is 45 times 16 times 25. Okay, so this will give me 5 times 16 times 25. 9750 cm cube. Okay, so this is the water from the bottles. Okay, so now if we want to find out what's the minimum number of bottles, you just need to use the total water, okay, divided by the volume of each bottle, divided by 650. Okay, that will give you 15 bottles. Okay, question 8. Mr. Chu needs a total of 15 hours to prepare 1,800 rice dumplings. He prepares the same number of rice dumplings every hour. Okay, when his wife helps him for 4 hours, 1,800 rice dumplings can be prepared in 9 hours. So A, what is the average number of rice dumplings that Mr. Chu's wife prepares in the 4 hours? And B, what is the difference in the time taken between Mr. Chu and his wife if she prepares 1,800 rice dumplings alone? Okay, part A, what's the average number of rice dumplings that Mr. Chu's wife prepares in 4 hours? Okay, so the first thing I need to find is how many dumplings Mr. Chu, Mr. Okay, Chu prepares in 1 hour. Okay, that'll be 1,800 divided by 15. Okay, 120. Now, I need to find out how many dumplings can Mr. Chu make in the 9 hours. So, next step will be 120 times 9. Okay, 1080. So, this next step will be Mr. C, 9 hours. Okay, so next I need to find out 1800 minus 1080. Okay, 720 is how many the wife makes in 4 hours. Okay, so now the last step to find the average, I need to use 720 divided by 4. Okay, 180 is the answer for part A. So for part B, what is for part A? Okay, what's the difference in the time taken between Mr. Chu and his wife if she prepares 100 or 1,800 rice dumplings alone? So the wife, okay, will take 1800 divided by 180. It's equal to 10 hours. Okay, so since over here is already mentioned that Mr. Chu takes 15 hours to prepare 1,800, right? So the next step will be to use 15 hours minus 10. Okay, so 5 hours will be the difference. Okay, question 9. At this year-end sale, a company sold calendars and diaries at the prices shown below. Okay, so calendars are sold at $6 for $37 and diaries are sold at $8 for $99. Okay, an equal number of calendars and diaries were sold. The company collected a total of $29,815. Okay, from the sale of the calendars and diaries. So the other keyword is equal number. Okay, how many calendars and diaries did the company sell in all? Okay, so when you see equal number, right, the first thing is to find out, okay, for equal number of calendars and diaries, how much is it? So between 6 and 8, okay, 6 and 8, the lowest common multiple is 24, right? Okay, so for 24 calendar, it will be equal to, okay, 37 times 4, which is 148. And for 24 diaries, it'll be 99 times 3. Okay, 99 times 3, it will be 197. Okay, so this is 24 diaries. This is 24 calendar. Okay, so now we're gonna use the grouping method, which is we're gonna treat one group, okay, as a 24 calendar, which is the 148, and 24 diaries, okay, which is the 297. Okay, their total is equal to 445. So we're going to treat one group as 445. So you got to now ask yourself, how many groups do you need, okay, in order to reach the 29,815? Okay, which means that now the next step will be to use 29815 divided by 445. Okay. It's going to give you 67. Okay, this is the number of groups. Okay, so at this point, if your answer is not a whole number, it means that you probably made a careless mistake somewhere, so you got to check for your mistakes. Okay, now the question is asking how many calendars and diaries did the company sell in all? Okay, so if you look over in your group, one group will have how many? We have 48, right? So the next step will be to use 67 times 48. Okay, 3,216 altogether. Okay, question 10. In the school, 55% of the pupils are girls and the rest are boys. As a school, 40% of the boys wear spectacles and 60% of the pupils wear spectacles. What percentage of the pupils are girls who wear spectacles? And B, 208 girls do not wear spectacles, so how many pupils are there altogether? Okay, so let us lay out the information first. The school, 55% of the pupils are girls. So for the girls, okay, it's gonna be 55%. That means the rest are boys. Okay, 45%. As a school, 40% of the boys wear spectacles. So, okay, wear specs. Okay, it's gonna be 40%. Okay, which means that okay, no specs. 60%. Okay, and then it says that 60% of the pupils wear spectacles. Okay, so now the first step that you need to do is we need to find out exactly how many percentage of the 45%, are the boys that wear spectacles. Since 40% of the boys, okay, then the first step that we need to do is we need to find out what is 40% of 45%. Okay, so at this point, if you're confused, you can treat this as 45 units instead of 45%. Okay, but once you're used to it, you should be comfortable with finding a percentage of a percentage. Okay, so do your reducing. 4/10 times 45, that will give me 18%. Okay, which means that this is in actual fact, I'm going to write over here 18%. So using 45 minus 18, I know that this is 27%. Okay, so I'm gonna write it down here. Those the percentage of the boys that do not wear specs 27%, and the boys who wear spectacles is 18%. Okay, then it says that 60% of the pupils wear spectacles. Since 60% of the pupils wear spectacles and 18% of them are boys, which means that 60 minus 18 will be 2%, right? Which means that for the girls, okay, that wear specs, okay, will be just a black color so that you will not get confused. 42%. Okay, and then for the girls that do not wear specs, okay, is going to be 55 minus 42, which is 13%. Okay, so now we can answer part A. What percentage of the pupils are girls who wear spectacles? It is 42%. Okay, part B, 208 girls do not wear spectacles. So, okay, which means that this one is 208. Okay, so for part B, 13% is equals to 208. Okay, the question wants you to find how many pupils are there altogether. Okay, which means that you want to find 100%. Okay, so 100% is 208 over 13, then multiply by 100. Okay, 208 over 13 will give you 16. 16 times 100 will give you 1,600. Okay, so this will be the answer for part B. Question 11. The figure is formed by 3 identical big semicircles. Okay, so I think this is the 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and 3 identical small semicircles. 1, 2, and 3 small semicircles. You use the calculated value of pi to find the perimeter of the figure. Round your answer to 3 decimal place. Okay, so I'm going to split them into big and small. So the big perimeter, I'm going to use a green one to highlight it. 1, okay, 2, and 3 semicircles. Okay, so 3 semicircles is it's 1.5, right? Or 3 over 2. So I'm going to write over here big semi. Okay. I'm gonna use find the perimeter, right? 3 over 2 times pi times okay, I haven't figured out the diameter. 14 is the radius. Okay, which means that the diameter will be 28. Okay, so I might as well do it for it's actually already here, but okay, so diameter is from here to here is 10. This is the radius, sorry. So diameter will be 20. Okay, we're dealing with perimeter, so it's pi times d or 2 pi r. Okay, pi times the diameter, which is 28. Okay, so same thing, you can do your reducing. Cancel 1, cancel 14. And then straight away you can do 14 times 3. Okay, I'm gonna leave it in pi form first so that it'll be easier for me. Okay, next I'm gonna continue to do the small semicircle. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3, right? Okay, so take note of the gap here and here. We're gonna include those 2 gaps later on. Okay, so the small semi. It's gonna be same thing, 3/2 times pi times 20. Okay, cancel 1, cancel 10. It's gonna be 30 pi. Don't need to use your calculator. So the total perimeter okay, it's gonna be 42 pi plus 30 pi. Okay, plus the two gaps over here. Okay, so the two gaps over here, because it's already written over here, but by right it is not written. Okay, so you need to do some calculation to get the gaps. Okay, so the first thing we need to find is the length from here to here, right? The whole length. Okay, it's gonna be 28 plus 20 plus 28. Okay, so 28 plus 28 plus 20 is gonna be 76. Okay, then 76 minus away 20 minus 20 and minus 28. Okay, it's gonna be 8 cm. Then after that 8 cm you divide by 2. Okay, that's how you get the 4 cm. So this part here is to find the gap. Okay, so I need to plus a 4 and plus a 4. Okay, so if you key this into your calculator, 72 pi plus 8 gonna be 234.1946 dot dot dot. Okay, round it off to 2 decimal place. It'll be 234.19 centimeter. Okay, question 12. The figure below shows a parallelogram PQRS drawn on the grid. Okay, PRTU is a rectangle that has half the area of PQRS. Okay, draw PRTU on the grid. Okay, so PRTU will be something like this. Okay, that's a rough sketch. But now let us find out what is half the area of PQRS first. Okay, half the area will be basically the area of this triangle over here, right? Okay, so to find the area of this triangle, let us use one gap over here as 1 cm, okay, or 1 unit. So there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, and then there's 16 of them here. The height will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4. That means half the area of PQRS will be half times 16 times 4, right? Okay, cancel 1, cancel 2, which will give you a 32. Okay, so which means that PRTU must also be equal to 32. And since I must use the 16, okay, that means it must be 16 times something equals to 32. And so you know that this is a 2, right? 16 times 2. Okay, so now I'm gonna erase away all this. I use a line. Not sure if this works, but okay, never mind. We try straight line. Here to here. Okay. And then so I'm gonna draw a line that is 2. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. Then I'm gonna use a straight line to draw from here. Okay, I think okay. Okay, so PR, this will be T, and this will be U. Okay, so this will be the answer for part A. Okay, for B, PRV is an isosceles triangle that has the same area as rectangle PRTU, which means that got the area of 32. Okay, draw PRV on the grid such that it does not overlap with the rectangle PRTU. So okay, since the triangle is PRV, that means I need to use PR. So I'm gonna draw a line from P to R first. I'm gonna use the red line to represent. Okay, so if I want it to have the same area as this PRTU, means that it's gonna be the same area as this triangle PQR. Okay, so I can basically just draw another triangle which has got the same height. So it's gonna be easier if I draw with it is an isosceles triangle. Okay, isosceles triangle. So I cannot anyhow draw. I'm gonna find out where is the middle point. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is the middle, which means that they need to join to this point here. Okay, I'm gonna try and join it because this thing works in a different way. Okay, and then after that, I'll draw another line from here to here. Okay, so this triangle is the isosceles triangle PRB will be here. The figure below shows 6 identical squares, so you should already know which are the 6 squares inside a rectangle. So the rectangle is this whole big rectangle. Okay, the arrangement results in a gap of 0.2 meter over here at the top and a gap of 0.1 meter at the side over here. Area of the unshaded region is 3000 square centimeters. So the unshaded region is basically here and here. Okay, so what is the area of the rectangle? Okay, so this question, you need to cut it into this, and this. Okay, draw a line here. And since this is 0.2 meter, right? I'm gonna draw a line in the middle. Means that it's gonna cut it into 0.1. Okay, and then cut it like that. Okay, so you have to realize that one of these rectangle over here is the same size as this. Okay, so the first thing I want to find is I want to find the area of this small rectangle over here. Okay, so this will be 0.2 meter by 0.1 meter, right? So 0.2 meter is going to be 20 centimeter times 10 centimeter. This will give me 200 square centimeter. So next step, I'm going to use 3000 and I'm going to remove this 200, which will give me 2800. Okay, so this 2800, okay, is actually equal to the 7 rectangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so divided by 4 is going to be 400. Okay, so the area of each one of these is 400 square centimeter, right? So we know that the breadth of it is 10 centimeter. So the next step will be to use 400 divided by 10. That will give me 40 centimeter. Okay, that means here to here is 40 cm. Okay, so now we can find out what is the length, right? This is 40, 40, 40, and this is 40, 40. Okay, so the length of it is 40 times 3 plus 20. Okay, because there's a 20 here, so it's 140 centimeter. And so the breadth over here is 40 plus 40 plus 10. Okay, which is 90. That means now to find the area of the rectangle, okay, I'm gonna use the length times breadth. Okay, that will give me 12600 square cm. Okay, question 14. A L-shaped paper, okay, is made up of perpendicular lines. It is folded along the line AB over here, as shown, and then after folding, it becomes this shape over here. Okay, so angle CBD over here is 28. Okay, so I need to find angle X and angle Y. Okay, so this question over here, I'm gonna draw this paper back here first. Okay, so that y'all will have a clearer image of it. Draw from here. Or like this, and like this. Okay, something like that. Okay, now the angle from here to here, okay, is equal to the angle from here to here. Okay, and then we need to realize that these two angles over here are the same. How do I mark this? Maybe I call this X and X, okay? These two are the same, right? So what I'm gonna do is, okay, this angle over here consists of, okay, this is 270. Okay, because the angle over here is 90, right? So if you use 360 minus 90, it's gonna be 270. Okay, so this is 270. Okay, so for part A, the first step will be to use 270. I'm gonna remove this 28. Okay, so 270 minus 28 is gonna be 242. And then after that, I'm gonna do 242 divided by 2. Okay, because these two angles are the same. It's gonna give me 121 degree. So which means that these two is actually 121 and 121. Okay, so you can double check 1 to 1 plus 1 to 1 plus 28 will give you 270. Okay, so now I can solve for x already because these two lines are parallel to each other. So by using 180 minus 1 to 1, okay, 59 degree is the answer. 59 for x. Okay, so to find y, first we need to find this angle over here, which is 180 minus 28. Okay, because same thing, these two lines are parallel, so these two angles are interior angles, which will add up to become 180. Okay, so 152. So this is 152. And we know that this is 90, right? Because it is a L-shaped paper. Okay, so to find angle Y, I just need to use 360 minus 152 minus 90. Okay, 360 minus 152 minus 90. Okay, 118 degree. Okay, question 15. The figure is made up of a big semicircle. So the big one over here. Okay, of radius 30 centimeter. Radius. Okay, so might as well write it down now. Okay, 2 circles and 3 semicircles. So this is the 2 circles, 1, 2, and this is the 3 semicircles, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, of equal radius are drawn in a big semicircle. Okay, so what is the radius of the circle? Okay, so the radius of the circle refers to this lah. Okay, the radius, right? Which is also the radius of the semicircle. Okay, so I'm gonna solve part A first. Okay, so part A, I want to find the total from here to here, right? 30 plus 30 equals to 60. Okay, so there are 3 semicircles, so 60 divided by 3 will be 20. Okay, 20 is the diameter, right? Of the small, we're gonna call it the small semicircle. Okay, so next step will be to use 20 divided by 2, which is 10 cm. Okay, so the answer for part A is 10 cm. So from here is 10. Okay, so for part B, what is the area of the shaded parts? Okay, take pi to be 3.14 and round your answer correct to 1 decimal place. Okay, so for this question, I'm gonna do some shading first. I'm gonna shade these part here first as yellow. Okay, and this part also, but not including the semicircle. Okay, next. Okay, this part is the same as this part over here. I think I'm gonna try and color it so they can see it properly. Okay, so if you get the idea, you can actually fast forward the video because it's gonna take some time for me to color this. Okay, so now you can start to see that the the green shaded part is equal to the yellow shaded part, right? So I'm gonna shade another one, which is this one over here. Okay. Maybe I should use a thicker pen. Okay, but never mind. Okay, then next I'm gonna shade this part here. Some overlaps. Okay, so you get the idea, right? Can you see that the green shaded and the yellow shaded and the blue shaded, they are the same? Okay, so now the idea is to, we're gonna find the big semicircle, minus away the circle, the small circle. Okay, including this part, I'm gonna remove it away. Then divide by 3, I'm gonna get 1 of it. And then after that, I'm gonna add back the shaded semicircle to find the area of the shaded part. Okay, so for part B, let's try to do the working here. Area of the big semicircle will be half times 3.14 times 30 square. Okay, this will be equal to 1413. Okay, this one is the big semi. Let me just double check. Okay, then now I'm going to calculate the small circles. So there's a total of 1, 2, okay, this is 3, and this is a 0.5 or half. So it's gonna be 3.5. I'm gonna use 3.5 times 3.14 times 10 square. Okay, this is going to be equal to 3.5 times 3.14 times 10 square. Okay, 1099. Okay, this is the 3.5 small circle. Okay, then I'm gonna do 1413 minus 1099 and then divided by 3. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna change it to 104 and 2/3 centimeter square. Okay, so this one is the let's call it the green. Okay, no, let's call it the yellow shaded. Okay, so I'm gonna use the yellow shaded 104 2/3, okay, plus the semicircle, okay, half times 3.14 times 10 square. Half times 3.14 times 10 square, okay, plus 104 and 2/3. Okay, so this will give me 261 and 2/3. Okay, which is I round it off to 1 decimal place. Okay, I'm gonna change it back to decimal, so it's gonna be 261.666 and so on. Okay, round off to 1 decimal place, it'll be 261.666. 7. Let me just do a check to make sure I did not make any careless mistake. 3.14 times 100. Okay, 1413 divided by 3. Okay, and then 5 times 3.14 times 100. Okay, this should be the correct answer. Okay, 261.7. Oh, the first one is 10, right? Okay. Okay, question 16. Madam Nuru had some red and green apples in her mini-mart. The ratio of the number of red apples to the number of green apples was 13:7. After selling 60% of the red apples and 55 green apples, the ratio of the number of red apples to the number of green apples was 13:12. Okay, how many apples were there altogether at first? Okay, let's do part A first. Okay, so let's write down the info. Ratio of the red is to green. Okay, red is to green. At first, 13:7. Okay, after selling 60%, that means minus 60%. Okay, and then this is minus 55. Okay, this is both decrease, right? So now the ratio of the number of red apples to the number of green apple become, okay, red is to green, 13:12. Okay, so in this question, we know that after selling 60%, this is equal to 40%, right? Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is let 40% be equal to 13 units. I'm gonna let this be units. Okay, and so I'm gonna find out what is 100%. Okay, that will be 13/40 times 100. Okay, it is 32.5 units. Okay, so which means that at the beginning it should be 32.5 units, right? We try to squeeze this over here, 32.5 units. Okay, if I change this to 32.5, okay, it's a bit difficult to see, so maybe I'll write it over here. Red is to green, right? If it's 13:7. Okay, if I want to change it to 32.5 units, what is the unit over here? So if you key into a calculator, 32.5 divided by 13, okay, you just have to multiply it by 2.5. So I'm gonna put it as a red color so you can see it clearly, times 2.5, right? Okay, which means that from here to here I also times 2.5. Okay, it's gonna be 17.5 units. Okay, so I'm gonna change this to a 17.5 units. Okay, then from here to here you can see something very clearly, which is that from 17.5 it decreased to 12 units, right? So it means that, okay, what is the decrease in units, or the 55, right? So 17.5 units minus 12 units will be equal to the 55. Okay, 5.5 units is equals to 55. Okay, 1 unit is equals to Okay, and if I want to find how many apples were there all together at first, okay, at first, okay, at first, what is the total unit? Total unit will be 32.5 plus 17.5, right? Okay. Which is 50 units. So 50 units times 10, it will be equal to 500. Okay, so there are 500 apples at first. Okay, so for part B, after that she bought more red apples. The number of red apples she bought was 3 over 10 the number of red apples left before that. How many red apples did she have in the end? Okay, so let's continue from here. Okay, red is to green, it's 13 units to 12 units. Okay, so I'm gonna multiply by 10, right? Times 10 times 10 because 1 unit equals 10, right? So the actual number is 120 and 130 and 120. Okay, and so she bought more red apples. The number of red apples she bought was 3 over 10 of the number of red apples left. Okay, so 130 red apples are left, right? So 3 out of 10 times 130 will give me 39. That means she bought 39 more red apples. Let's double check. The number of red apples she bought was 3 over 10 of the number of red apples left. Okay, so how many red apples did she have in the end? It will be 169 red apples. Okay, question 17. Peter, Roger, and Mary each had a sum of money. They decided to split their dinner bill equally. Okay, if Roger would pay for the bill first, the sum of his remaining money would be 4 over 9 of Mary's money. Okay, if Mary would pay for the bill first, the sum of her remaining money would be 11 out of 15 of Roger's money. If Peter would pay for the bill first, he would have used up all his money. But A, given that Mary had $226 more than Roger, how much was each person's share of the bill? Okay, and then part B, express Peter's sum of money as a fraction of their total sum. Okay, let's try to do part A first. I'm gonna try and draw the model for this, and then I'm gonna try and compare them. Okay, if Roger would pay for the bill first, so Roger. Okay, let's treat this as amount of money left, and then the sum of his remaining money will be 4 over 9 of Mary's money. Okay, so that means Mary will be maybe around this bar. So this will be like a 4 unit, this will be like a 9 unit, and I'm gonna include another box that represents the bill. Okay, and then I'm gonna include this given that Mary had $126 more than Roger. Okay, so this is another guideline that you got to keep in mind. So here to here is $126. Okay, then next I'm going to draw this one. So this is one, this is model 1 and model 2. Okay, model 1 and model 2. Okay, model 2. So if Mary were to pay for the bill first, the sum of her remaining money will be 11 over 15 of Roger's money. So maybe for Roger, I can draw a bar that is somewhere close to this. Okay, Mary will be 11, so Mary's one will be shorter. Okay, so this will be 11 units, this will be 15 units. And then I need to draw another box which represents the bill. Okay, and then here to here will be the 126. Okay, so the first thing that we need to realize is that the total amount of money left for model 1, which is this plus this, okay, is equal to the total amount of money left for model 2, which is this plus this. So in this case, the total units is okay, is gonna be 13 units. And then this one, the total units is 15 plus 11 is 26 units, right? So to make them the same, I just need to multiply by 2 to this, right? To make it 26. Okay, which means that I'm gonna multiply by 2 to this to become a 8 unit, and multiply by 2 to become a 18 unit. Okay, so now we have found out that the bill is actually equal to 7 unit, right? Because 11 plus 7 is 18. Okay, and 8 plus 7 is equal to 15 units. Okay, which means that now how much was I can find the bill, right? The bill is 7 unit. After I find the bill and then I divide by 3, that will be the share of each person. Okay, so 1, 2, 18 minus 15. 18 unit minus 15 units. Okay, is equals to the dollars 126. Okay, 3 unit is equals to 126. Okay, straight away I find 7 unit. Okay, 126 over 3 times 7. Okay, so 126 divided by 3 times 7 equals to 294. Okay, and then after that 294 divided by 3. Okay, divided by 3 is dollars 98. Okay, so this is the answer for part A. Express Peter's sum of money as a fraction of their total sum of money. Okay, so for part B, we know that Peter is equal to the bill, right? So Peter is actually the 7 unit, which is $294. Okay, Peter plus Roger plus Mary. Okay, the total is 26 units. Right? Oh, no. Okay, 26 plus 7. Okay, the total is 18 plus 15 over here. Okay, Roger is 18 plus 15 unit, which is equal to 33 unit. So 33 times just now what is the one unit? I did not figure out, but 126 divided by 3. Okay, is 42. So I should have worked out the 1 unit. 1 unit is equals to 42. Let's squeeze it down here. Times 33 is equals to 1386. Okay, so they are Peter is 1386 plus Peter 1 is 294. Okay, 1680. So to express Peter's sum of money as a fraction, it'll be 294 out of 1680. Okay, which will be equal to 7 out of 40. So this will be the answer for part B. Okay, so we have come to the end of the paper. So hopefully this paper will also help you to get in some practice before your PSLE. So as always, if you have any questions or comments on the paper, please feel free to leave me a comment, and then I will try to help you as much as I can. Okay, bye bye.